Hello, and welcome back to another Minecraft Let's Play video with me, Elven Dragon. So last episode we went and put in a bit of a tide pool area right along the coast of our island, and pretty much finished up the last area that still needed some basic terraforming. And since then, we have been quite busy putting in all of the plants for the rest of the island, and I am happy to say it is fully done. We've gotten everything in on this island. There's still some detail stuff to do in some of the buildings, like there's a few walls in our basement of our house here that still need some decoration. But a lot of those are kind of just waiting on stuff that we can't get until after we get to the next island, which is what we're going to be doing today. With this island done, it's time to move on to the next one in this little archipelago, which means we're going to need a bridge. So out by our little lighthouse, we've got a spot marked out with some purple wool that our path goes all the way up to, and that is going to be where we're going to be putting in the bridge to get to the next island. Figured we'd just do a bridge instead of just boating across. I figured that would look a little bit nicer. So here we go, right off of here. So I've got some moss here so that we can just kind of mark out and bridge where this is going to be. Looking at this gap, I don't know that this is going to be quite enough to get us all the way across, which will help us find out where we're going to need to put the base on the other side. So we're going to have to go get a little bit more of that. I went with moss because it'll be easy to break once we actually start building the bridge. So I think that this is going to be very nice. Now, the next thing that we have to do is we have to determine what type of bridge that we want to do. We could do a really nice arc bridge for here, but as you can already see, that's 40 blocks long already, and we're only probably about halfway across, maybe. So an actual arc isn't going to make much sense, which leaves us with two options. We can either try and do a suspension bridge, so we'll just have to kind of build some pillars and kind of suspend a flat bridge across. Or we can kind of go for more of an aqueduct kind of style where we have multiple tiers of arches underneath for support. I'm not quite sure. Really what it's going to come down to is whether or not we want a stone bridge or a wood bridge. I've got some logs here for the supports, or at least what I'm thinking is going to be the supports. If we go for the multi-layered arches, we're going to go and just get a bunch of stone bricks and go use those. Probably use the logs for some detail work up on the layer of the bridge. So the actual walkable layer of the bridge might be made out of wood, but the support is going to be stone. If we go for more of the suspension bridge, I might go for the wood pillars. I haven't quite decided yet. A large area, and we've got a lot of options for what we could do for detail work. So I'm going to go figure out just how long this bridge is going to be. Figure out where it's going to connect on the other side, and then I'll be right back. Alright, so after measuring out this entire distance, this appears to be about 95 blocks long. So I've gone and marked out where I want to put the stairs to go down to the other path on the other side. And that leaves us with about a 91 block length here, which we can use to go and do our bridge arches, because I think that's going to look a little bit nicer. I've done the suspension bridge on this world before, and it looks okay, but it's not great. So what I think we're going to do is we have this layer up here, and I think that this is going to be where we have our actual bridge layer. So we're going to do a 2-block wide bridge because that's what our pathway is. Got the stairs there. So we have a decent amount of space over here where we just have the stony shores. But I did decide on doing stone bricks for our bridge here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put this layer here in. We'll do the arches underneath it. I think that'll be easier to do than trying to figure out where exactly they need to go beforehand. And then we're basically going to have 3 tiers of arches on this thing. So we'll have one short one that's going to help form part of the railing. We'll have a slightly larger one, And then we'll have a really big one that should be the one that goes all the way down to the sea floor, which means we have a lot of stone bricks here to put in. Start with the stone bricks. I've got some decoration ideas for it. We can always craft up some cracked stone bricks to put in here. Maybe some mossy ones if we can get enough moss. But I think this will look really, really nice once it's all done. So I've got this side of the bridge to put in and mark out, and then I'll be back. Probably definitely get our stone cutter because we are going to need a decent number of stairs for this. All right, so we have one half of the bridge mostly in. So you can now see the 3 layers of arches that I decided to put on this thing. And as you can also see, we also don't have the supports all the way down to the bottom of the ocean there. Part of that's because I want to try and get all of them in. But once we do that, we'll be able to put in the other side. But we have this nice little kind of flower pattern here in the middle of copper. That's going to eventually oxidize. As you can see, some of it's already starting to. And above that, we've got this alternating tuff pattern in the middle of the second row of arches. Now, the actual walkway that this is going to have is going to be right here on this layer here. So just below our top row of arches. So this will be more of like a burial rail. I'm going to put some more stuff above this too. This was just a kind of basic rail that I wanted to put in. And it kind of looked odd with only 2 arches there without a third one kind of making it a little smaller. So I really like how that is going. Now, the one thing I'm not sure of is I don't quite know what to put in the center of the flowers. As you can see, they're kind of empty right now. I was thinking maybe we could put a light block and put a trapdoor over that. But the only ones that we really have access to right now would be either copper lanterns, in which case there's not really a point of putting in a trapdoor over it, redstone lamps and glowstone, which have the same issue of we still need the wandering trader to bring us more glowstone, and sea lanterns, which we might be able to scrounge up some from the ruins around here. But I still don't necessarily want to tackle the monument that is on the other side of the islands over there. So that leaves us with a few other options. So I've got a few of them here. So I'm thinking potential ones might be calcite here, which doesn't look too bad. I was playing around with maybe doing some amethyst. But I wonder that texture might be a little off. Thought maybe lapis might be a good option there because of the dark blue. I thought about diamonds, but we don't quite have enough. And I don't know if the emerald is going to clash too much with the fully oxidized copper. So we'll put those in there for now. We'll see how those look once this fully oxidizes. But now we just need to get a lot more copper because as you can see, we only have about half the copper on this side of the bridge in, and we still have the entire other side. So I've got a bit of that smelting up. But other than that, I really like how this is turning out. And you just need to get the other half of the bridge, supports in, and get the actual walkway in. And that's about it. So I'm going to go work on that copper, make sure that we actually have enough. Hopefully we don't have to go mining for any more. Though there should still be quite a bit down there because I haven't been collecting copper for a while. And then I'll be back once we are ready to start putting in the walkway. All right, so while that oxidized, I figured I would go and take a look around our second island here, and I found this. We've got wool and raw mutton, which means we have wolves around. We can grab some bones from some of the fish, so maybe we can find one. Don't know if it's still around, but that would be kind of nice. We could actually get some wolves, help us take care of some of the skeletons. We should have some in here because this is a forest. I don't know if they're still around. So we've got some interesting caves there. Tons of the leaf litter in here too. We may have to gather some of that up so we can use it in our forest. I still haven't quite put all of that into the big forest over there. But there's always going to be... Oh, I see a dog. I see one. I see one. Hello. There we go. We have a dog. I believe we should be able to get 2 different types of dogs on this island. We have the forest ones there, and we should be able to get the savanna ones as well. I believe there is a savanna biome on this island. It's pretty much all the way on the other side here. I think we should be able to get that. That is a pretty big cave. We may have to go explore that later. Anyway, back to going and finding these savanna dogs. This is going to be very interesting. I don't know if it's actually this island or if there's actually a bit of water between the two or not. Looks like we have a little bit of water there. Oh well, you can go poke around over there as well. It's pretty much all connected. And I'm not as concerned about staying on only one island as much now that we've gotten the first island completely done. Looks like we'll have another bridge to put in over here at some point. This is a very fun little section of islands. Looks like we've got a ruined portal over there too. I know we've got a monument out beyond that island there. Can't really see it too well from over here. But it'd be fun to see what all we can do with this area. And what is that? That's a different cow than I'm used to seeing. Okay, so we may have to make a little area for cows, since we apparently have multiple different types of cows. That should be interesting. Also gonna have to go hunt some more fish here soon, because we're running low on golden carrots. And we're running low on emeralds from the villagers. But that's also a different pig. Okay, so we've got a few animals that we need to do some different things for. Around here, not much that we can do with them right now. We've got some llamas here, because of course it's the savannah. But all in all, this is really nice. We're just shy of being able to get to the jungle over there. It's just outside of our area here. Looks like we got another forest over here as well. But it doesn't look like we have any of the savannah wolves over here right now. But oh no, this is going to be a fun little interesting set of islands. Looks like we have some of our too tall flowers over here. Let's make sure we grab those. We can go stick those in our basement now that we actually have them. And this should help quite a bit with a few things. So I'm going to go back to waiting for the bridge to finish oxidizing. Maybe we can find a lilac out here as well. That would get us all of our too tall flowers, since I don't think there is a sunflower plains out here, so we won't be able to get those. And I'll be back. Alright, so most of the copper has been fully oxidized, and still haven't quite decided which one I like. I decided to throw in some polished andesite into the fifth one down there, just to see how it looked, and I'm not sure I particularly like it. There's a few other blocks I want to play around with this to see how they look, but we may just leave these blank for right now. But our roadway here is just going to be right here. We're going to mix in these 9 blocks here just to kind of give it a decent little texture and patterning. Just make it a little bit more than just a plain roadway. And we are definitely going to do this all out of stone, since this is a stone bridge. Doesn't make sense for us to have dirt paths and such. We'll have to figure out how we're going to do the stairs for this area. That's part of why I haven't put in the full wall on this side. That, and I didn't feel like working with all of the stairs for the wall over here, because this is a bit of a pain to get in. But either way, we have this mix here. So it is tough bricks, polished deep slate, a bit of deep slate tiles, andesite, some deep slate bricks, some polished andesite, and all of those together, I think, make for a nice little mixture here. So I've got about half stack of each of these. These should hopefully get us all the way to the other side. Trying to make sure I mix all of our different colors and patterns in here. But I kind of like how this is turning out. Other than trying to figure out what needs to go inside the center of the copper flowers in the middle there. But all in all, I think this is going to be a really nice little bridge. But I'm going to go get the rest of this road in, and then I'll be right back. All right, and there we go. We now have the entire roadway in. got the top of the other wall in here as well. And I really like how this looks. I'm not sure we really need to do any more decoration on the top of this wall. I might play around with something, but I do kind of like how the third arch layer here works really nicely as a wall here. And I love this. Still haven't figured out what we're going to put in the center of the copper, but you know what? We can work on that, but we can worry about that another time. We still have a few more things to figure out, like what we're going to do for the stair areas here. I think we're going to do a couple things of stone bricks here just to bring our top of our wall here down. But I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. But I'm really happy with how this has turned out. And I can't wait to go and explore more of this second island here. I've got a few ideas of what we can put on here and a couple other things. But I think that for now, that is probably going to be it for today. So, I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing if you want to see more of what is going on these islands and in the rest of this world. And I will catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.